Mvura chaiyo kumwa taishaya asi pari zvino zvinhu zvese zvakufamba zvakanaka takuwanawo mvura zvinhu zvokudya kutangawo kurima minda yedu zvinoyewedza
takwanisa kurima murivo tukwanisa kurima chibage green maize.
To date, over 4,000 business units have been established as drought mitigation centers.
We have now between 4,000 and 5,000 communities that have now benefited from the program. We, because of the drought this year, then recalibrated our approach and started off with regions 4 and 5.
This scheme has not only alleviated water challenges, but stimulated local economies and improved livelihoods in different communities.
1 hectare, some they fence 3 hectares.
Government is targeting to establish 35,000 village business units and 9,600 school business units. John Nandara, ZBC News, Mutare.
The First Lady, Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa, took her recently launched Africana Family Humanism program to Masvingo province this Friday. Now, the program is meant to search for solutions to problems tearing families apart and exposing children to numerous social vices.
Driven by her desire to build morally upright families and curb a disturbing surge in divorce cases in the country, First Lady Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa took her Africana Family Humanism program to Masvingo province this Friday. The event was held at Mangondo Secondary School in Bikita. The First Lady's first port of call was Mangondo School Orchard, where she led school children in planting various fruit trees in her capacity as the country's environment patron. Africana Family Humanism is a program aimed at promoting the African family unit, and it looks at the personality of families and how they live as Africans. The event was attended by thousands of people from all the districts of Masvingo province. Masvingo province becomes the third to benefit from the program after successful launches in Midlands and Manicaland. According to revelations from the programs held in the 3 provinces so far, women have now resorted to revenge cheating. The program came about after Mame Mnangagwa received several reports on infidelity among married couples on a GBV toll-free number 575. Also, Mnangagwa takeover sessions with children brought to the fore a lot of issues where children bemoaned their parents' waywardness, which is negatively impacting on the children's lives. From the reports, it appears the tables have since turned, with the women now leading in the field of promiscuity. The First Lady started with a separate session with women where she spoke candidly against revenge cheating and promiscuity, saying it is not the solution to marital challenges. She rallied women to be submissive, to respect the marriage institution, and to iron out their marital concerns amicably.
Nasi takazoumba munhukadzi mushaka uyu una varipo vakwegura sekuru varipo ambuya varipo baba munini baba mukuru wakaona varipa ndobva waita sei navo kusvika zuva ranhasi iva amweni ava zviri kufamba seiko neamweni vako pamba pako nokuwanikwa kwako iwewe kunhai amweni zvaazouya uyu makazombodiko makamboitawo dare naye here ndikutaura nyaya yemushaka iyi inhoroondo iri pamusha handiti yezvatiri kugara nazvo zvatitorimo nazvo kuuya azotiwana uyu atiroora uyu Bernard mwana waamwene ari kugara nesiseiko nai Bernard mwana waamwene uyu atichinjisa tinouya takanaka dzimwe nguva handi vose vanouya vakaipa mese kana ndikakutarisa munomboya makaipa ini makaya makanaka chero mbuya vari pano pavakatanga musha wavo vakauya vakanaka asi vakachinjiswa vakauya vakachinjiswa nemugariro uri pamba nemutambirirwa wavakaita nemugariro wavari kuita mazuva ese havasi kundiona saka ndodini ndakutamba yangu ndega manje yako wega ndo yandazovinga kuti inokuendesa kupi yawakutamba izvo nokuti yawakutamba wani yauraya zita rauraya musha pamusha pafumuka.
During the session, women openly said that they are straying from their marital beds for various reasons ranging from lack of affection, men's promiscuity, and economic abuse. They highlighted that they are on a revenge mission since they intend to pay back their cheating husbands in their own coin.
Ndatoti ndikaona TV zviya ndichiona maNigeria achideya kumbundikirana vachitsodana ndaiwa kuzvishuva zvisingabviri saka ndakazotomboona kuti zviri nanewo ndakazotivo pandakaendawo kuchigayo ndokuwanawo vamwe baba vakativo adhiringi chii, ndikati inga zvakanaka. Patakaonana ndikaona welcome yacho zvakanaka zvisingambobviri, ndikatoona kuti Yesu kokunotova nevamwe varume vanotova norudo rwakadai.
Inini ndiri mukadzi anocrossa border. Zveshuwa vakadzi vaye vanorambidzwa kucrossa border ichokwadi, nekuti pamwe pacho unokwanisa kuenda mari haisi kukwana. Ndiri kuda mari yebhasi, dhiraivha obva angoti yellow bone rakatinda musoro. Ndinokoenda kana dhiraivha ndakutokwira bhazi mahara. Dzimba dzedu hatichadzikwanisi mai, nepamusana pevarume vakasoti sudurudza kare kare, ende tiri kufuririka nekuti kunzoko mama utara chokwadi kune kakunakidza kakanoita kana uri mumba, asi kana ukazonge wabuda mumba unoona kuoma kwekunze.
Vakavarora venyu mhai, isu vanototipa mukana wana marwei, noti kana ndamuwana ndautogadzisa mistakes ese andakaita mumba mandakabuda ndakubata murume uya zvakanaka, saka chirakanda kumba zvakatofinika ndatosuva inini.
Unongozvara vana nokushingirira uye nokukwevedzera murume kuti auye apa. Musi chaiwo unenge uchida kunzwa kuti nhasi ndinoda kuticherevo, nhasi vabva kuya kwavabva vanoda kuti kadropu kaya kati dwe pauri, ndopo unozvara mwana mai. Kumutevera kubva wako tondoita zvokusundana. Maika tatambura shuwa nevarume, ndatambura ndine vana 5 asi ndiri kungovayarusa nehwaku kwako.
Amai Mnangagwa was in the company of Zimbabwe Prisons and Correctional Services Chaplain Christine Piri and Evangelist Nelly Gwatidzo, who rallied women to work towards building loving and peaceful homes and to solve marital issues amicably. While women were receiving wise counsel from Amai and their team, many were also pouring their hearts out to traditional chiefs and other elderly men from the province who counseled them.
Kuti mwanasikana unokura ari mutemo yababa namai, achikura uchabva woendwa zvemumutemo womurume wake. Hapana paenzi unofanira kuzvitonga.
After the separate sessions, Dr. Mnangagwa held a combined session with both men and women, highlighting what the program entails.
Ndakafunga dingindira iri ndaona kuti munharaunda dzedu mawira matambudziko ari kurwisana neunhu hwedu savana veZimbabwe. Tsamba nerunhare zvari kuuya kuofisi kwangu zvachema zvichitaura kuti aiwa mudzimba tichagarisana baba naamai kunyanya. Panyaya ndandichiita yegota ndichiri kuita yegota nanga, vana vakati amai tazvinzwa tichaita vana vakanaka uye rambai muchigara nesu muchitidzidzisa, asi pane vanhu vaviri vamuri kusiya, murume nemukadzi, avo vari baba vedu naamai vedu. Ava ndo vari kutanga, ndo vari kukonzeresa kuti tibatane nezvose izvi tiri vana vadiki. Tapinda mukudhakwa, tapinda muzvinhu zvisingakufadzei kuburikidza kwa baba naamai kumba. Amai vari kubuda vachinodhakwa, amai vedu isusu. Zvavanenge vakapfeka amai, tushaya kuti amai vari kuenda kupi vakapfeka zvipfupi zvakadaro. Uye amai vedu ava vari kusiyiwa pagedhi nemumwe murume watisingazive kuti murume wacho ndiani. Vana vari kutaura tiri kunhanga kava handiti. Saka foni dzouyazve dzichiti isusu amai tatambudzika navarume vedu, tashingirira nguva yareba, asi regai tikudzeiwo zviri pamwoyo pedu zvotofunga kuti zvimwe varume vangaona kuti tarwadziwa. Ana baba ndivo ngavachitsanyira dzimba dzavo kuti dzimire, isu ana mai hatichada, taneta. Ifoni dziri kuya panhare 575. Saka vana baba ngavachitsanyirawo dzimba dzavo. Iko zvino shiri yabvuta rekeni.
Amai Mnangagwa also implored married couples to live in a way that does not lead their children on a path of destruction. She implored women to dress decently and to live dignified lives.
Ngatichidzokerai kuchivanhu chedu chiya chokukudzana nokuziva kuti wakamira panzvimbo pako here. ini ndobva ndanyanya kutaura kunana amai kuti amai pamuri apa makamira panzvimbo yenyu here? Kumira panzvimbo muri kuitei? Makamira panzvimbo pacho sei? Nekuti amai zviremekedze chokutanga muviri wako, koshesa muviri wako. Mumuri ndimo munoumbwa kavana vedu, ndimo matinokudza nokurayira vana vedu kuti zvinogarwa sei, mwanasikana mwanakomana, unozvibata sei, unofamba sei pavanhu munharaunda, komunyika ndiwani, unoda kuti unzi ani. Asi zvinotipa chimiro chokuti kumba kwacho kwatigere kwabviwa nemwana ndokwakagarwa sei, kuti mwana zvaanoita anoratidza zviri kumba. Vana havachina anovatarisa, hakuna kana anovateerera kana kuvaona kuti vana vari kufamba sei. Kurodzwa kwavana, ivo vanawo vacho vakutozviroodzawo, akangokwenya waatoenda. Saka nekudaro tati, vasikana, taurai nhunha dzenyu nhasi kuna amai, ndimbonzwa kuti kunokuma svingo, muri kufamba sei?
Chaplain Christine Piri from the Zimbabwe Prisons and Correctional Services hammered on the importance of good communication among couples.
Amai vari kuti kutadzirana tinotadzirana, asi ngatiregei kuchengeta mafaira mumba. Kana tarigegererana ngatiregererane zvachose. Amai vari kuti iwe mukadzi nemurume muri pamwe chete, makaita mhiko, ndichatora iwe semurume wangu wesvisa munhamo, kureva kuti nhamo inodii? Inouya, asi ngaisiye takadini? Takabatana.
Evangelist Nelly Gwatidzo also gave wise counsel to the couples. Men had an opportunity to highlight challenges they are facing in marriages, outlining possible solutions to those challenges.
Kuchena kuzvigezesawo kwakanaka, misha iri kuparara veduisa, vana vashanu takuya kuzorora.
Women were also afforded the same platform.
I love you ndakazedzwa nemunhu wekudondo ndikava kutapirirwa na I love you. Ini ndakazoenda kuseri kwebhucha, ndokwandakazoinda. Ndinoda kuudzai kuti anything can happen anywhere, anyhow, any day. Kuseri kwebhucha kwakazonakidza.
Amai Mnangagwa also helped establish peace between a polygamous man and his two wives. The First Lady gave wise counsel to the women who were constantly engaging in fights. After a heated argument between the wives, they received wise counsel from Amai, resulting in them making peace with each other. The Mother of the Nation then asked the police victim-friendly unit to handle the matter in the presence of their husband, who was also present at the program, so that the trio lives in peace without violence. The trio expressed gratitude to the First Lady for bringing peace into their home. Celebrated comedian Sabuku Varazipi and crew provided entertainment.
Chamunofanirwa kuziva kuti mukadzi wenyu ireflection yezvamuri kuita kwaarimi.
Mukadzi ndakamuroora, makandiwana chakirai kuno nedanga. Saka ndinoenzana naye pakuti
imi muri kungoita sokungoti muone soti vakadzi vakabvuta rekeni, asi murimi vakonzeri vezvinhu zvose.
Mumba ngamuve necommunication. Tasaonekwa noti kati ini ndoda mukadzi ndobva ndakarongedzera kuti nhasi hakuvatiwi. Unosvika munhu wakatopfeka maglovhosi ebhokiseni kudai. Iko zvino nyaya yavakiitika vavharazi, imi pamuri kukona ano mukadzi wenyu, vana venyu vanenge vachitei? Vana vava kumadrugs.
Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Masvingo Province, Comrade Ezra Chadzamira, commended Amai Mnangagwa for initiating various programs that are key in restoring and preserving the country's cultural values.
Masvingo Province yasimukira zvizhinji nemaprojects avanouya nawo. Vatidzidzisa tsika dzedu dzanga dzarasika kuti dzidzoke pachinyakare. Kuvana vakaita zvekare nhanga negota. Nhasi pano tiri kuona nhanga negota yevanhu vakuru yavavuya kuzoita kuti misha iyi ibatane.
Since the festive season is beckoning, the First Lady, philanthropist par excellence, also took time to hand over goodies to the elderly and traditional chiefs. She distributed food hampers, blankets and toiletries. Amem Mnangagwa also extended a hand to everyone in attendance with some groceries. The beneficiaries were elated. The First Lady's Africana family humanism will be replicated in all the country's provinces. Colette Msanyera, ZBC News, Bikita.
Health service delivery, road maintenance and tillage services are set to improve in Mashonaland West Province as they received 5 ambulances and 40 tractors, feeding into the country's Vision 2030 aspirations.
Minister of State for Mashonaland West Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Honorable Marian Chombo, this Friday handed over 5 ambulances to the Chinoi Provincial Hospital, as well as 40 tractors to the Rural Infrastructure Development Agency, of which 26 of them are going to be used for road maintenance, while 14 will be channeled towards tillage services. While thanking President Emmerson Mnangagwa for facilitating the development to propel Vision 2030 targets, Honorable Chombo implored custodians of the equipment to put it to good use.
The province also consists of one of the busiest road networks and has had a fair share of road traffic accidents. The ambulances are coming at that period when we normally receive an influx of visitors into the country, and the province putting it in a better position to respond to potential health emergencies that may occur.
Mashonaland West Provincial Medical Director Dr. Celestino Dege expressed gratitude to government's commitment to enhancing the quality of healthcare provision.
Munongoona kuti province yedu ine maroads migwagwa yakakura yakawanda. Uyu mugwagwa unobva kuHarare uchienda kuChirundu, tinozobatana futi nounoenda kuChegutu, tine uyo unobva kuBulawayo uchienda kuHarare. Dzese idzo dziri muMashonaland West munogona kuita njodzi. Tichienda kuholiday munogona kuita njodzi. Ambulance dzinotibatsira. Vana mai vakazvitakura vanogona kunge vada kutorwa kunzvimbo dzinenge dzichinetsa kusvika nedzimwe mota idzi. Asi kana tine maambulance akaita sewaya maToyota Land Cruiser.
The handing over of the ambulances as well as the tractors are expected to earmark development, particularly in rural communities of the province. Tamuka Charakupa, ZBC News, Chinoi.
The Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation's initiative to raise funds for underprivileged children through sport has seen professional golfers and corporates supporting the event, which they described as noble.
Professional golfers and corporates who took time to play the sport they love for charity this Friday at the Royal Harare Golf Course surged the stance taken by the national broadcaster to organize a fundraising program which will help children in marginalized communities is inspirational.
In all future programs of this nature, we will always be there to stand with the ZBC because it is good and it is so relieving to be giving to our needy people.
It was very important for us to play for this great initiative, play for charity. Normally we're just playing for pleasure and enjoying ourselves, but it's very important when we gather around and we do the sport that we love, but in assisting the less or underprivileged.
We need to partner with ZBC. Initiative to make sure that we improve the livelihoods and the well-being of the underprivileged.
ZBC's acting CEO, Engineer Tapiwa Mzamba, said the funds raised will be used to buy television sets for children in rural communities.
There are marginalized communities which are being left behind because they don't have enough resources. So we decided to come up with a community social responsibility as the public broadcaster to gather enough funds to buy the equipment for them to be able to receive programming from our 3 television channels.
Meanwhile, those who won the golf match were presented with prizes. Fungai Jachi, ZBC News, Harare.
Community radio stations have been cited as key in fostering community engagement, diversity and inclusivity, aligning with the country's devolution policy.
The Musara community of Masvingo had an opportunity to interact with presenters and producers of the country's 14 community radio stations at the commemorations of the second edition of Radio Festival. The event, which was held at Chief Musara's homestead, gave an opportunity to the community to appreciate the role of community radios in propelling development.
Advantage yatinayo isusu nokuva nevanhu vanotora chokwadi mumatunhu zvinoita kuti hapana chinotaurika chatisingazokoni kunzwisisa nekuti zvinenge zvabva mumatunhu edu, uye tinenge tapa information yedu kune vanhu vakadzidziswa kubata chokwadi.
Ini ndanyanya kufara kungozvinzwira mumaredhiyo, ndaitofunga kuti kuda zvirekwa nevamwe vanhu vakaita sei, saka ndafara kuti vana vatakabereka ndo vanoita izvi kuti nyika yedu igarike zvakanaka.
Ndadzidza kuti nhasi ndaona nhau dzichiverengwa ipapo takanyatsa kuzvitarisa.
Great Zimbabwe University Vice Chancellor Professor Rungano Zhobgo challenged the communities to take advantage of community radio stations to improve community livelihoods.
Muchipinda munyika yedu ino muchivandudza maprogram development ndiro donzo guru redevelopment yema-rural people. Kana ma-rural population asina kuvandudzwa munjere nyika haifambi. Inogwadama takatarisa ndonzwa kufara.
As a build-up to the commemorations, presenters and producers of 14 community radios received training from the Great Zimbabwe University centered on fact-checking, ethical considerations in news gathering and content production.
Zvinezvi uno taane gindimukindi redu ratinobonga hurumende yambo apapo ngekuti zvakutidetsera kuti tinohambisa mashoko ngemutauro wedu.
Ke rata go leboga hurumende wa lefatshe la Zimbabwe o re file monyetla wa gore re khumane license tsa radio station. Gape ke leboga gore Ntepe Manama FM ke yone ya ntha community radio station go fumana license.
Ibantu babuswirizga iradio imagani aziyitikana zikonse mulundu babuzimvuka kuzwa ku radio yabo amulaka ngoba mvisisika ikaphathi ndizokulangira bo kandi pakulumba ku liba Great Zimbabwe University balimbi mbabo batweta okuno kutuswanizya ekute kwati zoyiye ikubweza itwambo twabwini.
Government licensed the 14 community radio stations, and this has gone a long way in cementing government's move to liberalize the airwaves and promote information sharing across all communities. Ms. Martina, ZBC News, Masvingo.
And now to stay abreast for more news and current affairs, log on our website www.zbcnews.co.zw. We're also available on various media platforms, X, Facebook, as well as YouTube. ZBC News Online. Stories ahead to come. In business, economic experts predict over 6% growth next year. In sports news, a drama in the Northern Region Soccer League as a battle for promotion continues. We're off to a break. Just stay with us.
This message is brought to you by the government of Zimbabwe.
We are excited! The Regional World Children's Day celebration is coming to Zimbabwe. 16 November, Victoria Falls.
Zimbabwe Primary School rose to life.
It is a celebration of Zimbabwe's milestones in children. A celebration of our rights and responsibilities. Right to education. Right to protection. Right to shelter. Right to food. Right to health. Right to safety. We are grateful for all the strides the Second Republic has made in child protection, and we are excited to be celebrating these with many children from Malawi, Botswana, Namibia, Zambia, South Africa, Mozambique. You don't want to miss this.
16 November 2024, Victoria Falls at Zimbabwe Primary School. Come and celebrate with us on our Regional World Children's Day celebration.
EcoCash gives you more. EcoCash points are our way of saying thank you for being a loyal customer. You earn points every time you use EcoCash to send money, make payments, buy airtime, or cash out. These points accumulate and can be redeemed for voice airtime, data, or SMS. You can start redeeming your points once you reach 100 points, and redemption is in multiples of hundreds. To redeem or check points balance, dial *151 *7 hash today. Terms and conditions apply. EcoCash gives you more.
Oh, joy to the world, the Lord is Lord has done. Receive her King. Let every heart prepare him room. Rejoice and shout for joy. Rejoice and
A warm welcome back, and thank you so much for staying with us. Institutions have been called upon to embrace a sign language so as to bridge communication barriers. That report next.
Belated commemorations of the International Day of Sign Language were held this Saturday in Harare, with the key takeaways being the need to bridge communication barriers and raise awareness on the importance of sign language.
Education of the deaf must be everywhere. To the police, they must know the sign language. For example, when the police arrest the deaf, who will interpret for them? So in hospitals, there are no interpreters. No sign language interpreters at the hospital. Awareness, yes, it has been done. Awareness has been done everywhere in Zimbabwe, and people now are getting to embrace sign language and deaf culture. The rights are being embraced as well.
Stakeholders highlighted that the need to consider sign language as a mandatory subject in schools.
We are saying that everyone is supposed to learn the language because it's a language within its own right. It is peculiar within its own rights, and everyone is supposed to learn the language. And in different domains, like the medical domain, the health domain, the educational domain, everyone is supposed to learn their language so that these people, they will not be excluded. They would not be relegated to the periphery.
For us, it's all about diversity and inclusivity. And this commemoration brings to the fore the fact that we need to be inclusive of the deaf community.
The belated commemorations were held under the theme, Sign Up for Sign Language Rights. Sign language is one of the country's 16 official languages. John Nandara, ZBC News, Harare.
And now from the capital, it's time to cross over to our Montreux studio where Marilyn Gwenya is on standby to take us on. Marilyn, it's a beautiful evening. It's over to you.
Good evening and many thanks to you, Leanne. In our following report, the Zimbabwe Energy Regulatory Authority is working on banning mobile liquefied petroleum gas filling following an increase in explosions related to unsafe gas trading.
The Zimbabwe Energy Regulatory Authority ZERA is concerned with the increase in fire incidences involving door-to-door and mobile filling of LPG in residential areas. As such, the Regulatory Authority is working on modalities of introducing stiffer penalties for offenders. Speaking during a media stakeholder engagement in Bulawayo this week, ZERA's head of petroleum engineer Andrew Guri said they have confiscated more than 300 LPG cylinders smuggled into the country.
Accidents caused by mishandling of LPG in homes and dwellings. We will never license mobile filling facilities because you don't know where you're going to park next to do your business. You need to be filling cylinders at a place that is designated, that has been assessed by the relevant authorities.
Liquefied petroleum resellers are also working with the agency to promote safe use.
We are still in development mode because at the end of the day, I love what the president said.
We are here to develop going forward, economy of development. And this is what we are embracing even as Zimbabweans now. Even in terms of us, we are continuously building behind the man president. But when you begin to understand, if you sit down correctly and understand what these guys want, they're not after to bring a business down. And this is what Zimbabweans need to understand. The government institutions are not here to bring us down. They are here to enforce and help us.
Zimbabwe is one of the major consumers of LPG in Southern Africa. In 2022, the consumption stood at 59.89 million kgs, representing a 5.47 rise from 56.78 million kgs in 2021. Providence Maranelli, ZBC News.
The abuse of drugs among youth has been described as a threat to the attainment of Vision 2030, and the Ministry of Youth Empowerment, Development and Vocational Training is canvassing for a drug fund to help in the establishment and revitalization of youth centers across the country.
Presenting on priority areas for the Ministry of Youth Empowerment, Development and Vocational Training at the pre-national budget seminar in Bulawayo this Friday, Honorable Tino Machakari said it is important for government to tackle the drug and substance abuse menace through the establishment of youth and vocational centers.
Today we were doing our presentation for our 2025 budget, but we also want to appreciate the Minister of Finance. He acknowledged that the ministry must be capitalized. It needs, it requires adequate funding. As we are all aware, we've got, as the youth, we've got the biggest population, which is about 67% of our national population. And most of our youth are idle, are sitting in the streets. We need to revamp our vocational training centers.
The need to invest in promoting a culture of innovation within children was also emphasized by the Children's Rights Caucus chairperson, Honorable Florence Booker.
Nyika inovakwa nevene vayo. Tikasadzidzisa vana, tikavasavapa mafacilities akanaka, vanozoivaka sei ivo vasina kudzidza zvakakwana. Vanoivaka sei vachiita chikorokoza. Vanoivaka sei vari mumastreets vachitengesa. Tiri kukumbira Minister of Finance kuti mutarisewo budget revana kuitira kuti tive nevana vakaumbika, tisave nema-half-baked citizens.
The Youth Ministry is lobbying for allocation funds towards the revitalization and establishment of more youth centers in an effort to ensure young people acquire various life skills at the centers. Lisa Masuku, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
The meetings, incentives, conferences and exhibitions tourism subsector is proving to be a crucial driver of Zimbabwe's tourism recovery and growth as the country journeys towards an upper middle income society by 2030.
According to the Zimbabwe Tourism Authority, a remarkable 231 conferences were held in the iconic Victoria Falls between January and September 2024, attracting a significant number of 20,000 business visitors. This surge in mass tourism has not only boosted the local economy, but has also positioned Zimbabwe as a premier destination for international conferences and events in line with Vision 2030. The influx of business travelers has had a ripple effect on various sectors, including hospitality, transportation, and retail, as confirmed by the Hospitality Association of Zimbabwe this Friday.
These people are not just coming in for the meetings, but then also boost the accommodation aspect because they need somewhere to stay. Not only that, it means that there's also revenue for our restaurants. There's also revenue for those who sell curios and paraphernalia for tourists.
MICE events often involve advance payments and participants tend to be high spenders.
I think the advantage of the MICE business is that many companies will have these workshops or meetings budgeted for from the beginning of the year. And probably they have more than 5 or 6 delegates coming in, or sometimes it's a group coming in. So in terms of budget, it's something that has already been decided and they will pay sometimes in advance.
In the past 10 months, Victoria Falls has successfully hosted several MICE events, including the 7th Congress of the Conference of Constitutional Jurisdictions of Africa. The tourism sector is being considered one of the critical sectors towards attainment of an upper middle income society by 2030. Tichaona Kurewa, ZBC News, Victoria Falls.
And that's it for myself, Marilyn Gwenya, and the Montrose crew for tonight. We take you back to Pocket Hill Studios in Harare, where Lian is on standby. Lian, it's back to you.
Many thanks, Marilyn. It's always a pleasure seeing you there on the other side of the screen. And our community champions have been acknowledged at this year's inaugural The List Awards in Harare. The awards held last night seek to promote and reward outstanding individual communities who contributed to marginalized community.
It was a night of glitz and glamour at the inaugural The List Awards ceremony in Harare, which saw individuals being recognized for the impact they have made in communities.
People who are being celebrated tonight are people who are using their platforms to advance their communities, to help the less privileged, and to make a difference, a positive difference in their communities. So it's a beautiful award.
I think this is one of the most exciting awards I've ever got. I think I've got close to 20 awards, but this one came with a very big uniqueness because it's not looking about the strides in terms of monetary value, but it's looking at how we have impacted the community.
I'm very excited to be recognized in this manner because most of the work that I do in the community newspaper where I come from in Masvingo, most of the time is not recognized in such a way. So I'm very excited and I'm very grateful for the community of people who allow me to amplify their voices.
Founder of the initiative, Nyaradzo Mashaya Mombe, hopes the awards will encourage community support-led initiatives.
It's been amazing 6 months, grueling 6 months, but the night came out so beautiful. But most importantly, it was heartwarming to see people being happy. The recipients of the awards. For me, that is what matters because we're doing this for people who are working in our communities to encourage them.
The awards recognize fields in community development, business, arts, media, science, sports, humanitarian efforts, and beyond. Farai Gwaze, ZBC News, Harare.
News at 8 is off to a break. When we return with business, stay with us.
EcoCash gives you more. EcoCash points are our way of saying thank you for being a loyal customer. You earn points every time you use EcoCash to send money, make payments, buy airtime, or cash out. These points accumulate and can be redeemed for voice airtime, data, or SMS. You can start redeeming your points once you reach 100 points, and redemption is in multiples of hundreds. To redeem or check points balance, dial *151*7*7# today. Terms and conditions apply. EcoCash gives you more.
Unwrap a world of entertainment with DSTV.
All right.
Wow.
It's who I am. Time for you to see the world.
The only thing that is important is happiness. That's the reason why I'm here. Wish me luck.
This is where all the fun times are happening.
There we go again. Fantastic goal. Join me. Experience the magic with DSTV, your home of entertainment.
We dive straight into business news. Economic experts say Zimbabwe's 6% forecast for next year will be driven by strong performance in agriculture, mining, tourism, and prudent fiscal policy systems.
This week, Treasury announced that Zimbabwe's economy will grow by 6% next year from 2% this year. The fiscal authorities attributed the anticipated growth to a good agricultural season that will accelerate production in key economic sectors. The business community believes that the mining, tourism, retail, and distribution, including prudent fiscal policies, will determine the direction of the economy next year.
We also have a number of things that we think that the minister will also include in his 2025 budget, which include measures under the Value-Added Tax Act together with fiscalization that will also promote the payment of taxes under VAT. This will also increase revenue.
It's something that's attainable, but it depends on a number of factors, especially climate factors. We are hoping that this year the agricultural season is going to be normal to above normal, and if that is so, it means production, there's going to be a massive rebound in agricultural production, which will have obviously positive externalities on the rest of the sectors of our economy.
Zimbabwe's economy, like any other global player, has been exposed to local and external shocks. Despite climate change-induced shocks that slowed down growth in 2024, expectations of a good rainfall season present opportunities for overall macroeconomic rebound. Stanley James, ZBC News, Harare.
That's a cap in business. We take a look at the arts, where a young actor from the heart of Victoria Falls, Skanyiso Ngwenya, is making waves in the local film industry, sharing the screen with renowned Hollywood actor Tongai Chirisa and the upcoming film Rise.
It is home.
I can't remember.
The 9-year-old who grew up in Victoria Falls, Sichinotimba suburb, landed a role in the film is inspired by the true story of local boxer Tobias Mfuti, who rose from humble beginnings to become a respected figure in the community and boxing world. Ngwenya's performance alongside Chirisa has garnered significant attention.
I feel good. Ngizwa right, comfortable. Ngifunde ukuthi ungaqamba amanga, ungalwi. Ngifuna abanye abantu befunda idiscipline lokuhlonipha lokulalela abanye.
The success story of the actor has surprised his parents.
I have never imagined him, but after seeing this film, when they were acting it, I believed in him. He can do it. Because even at home, he watches the most scary ones. He can act. I believe in him.
Didn't ever imagine. I don't know what to say. I'm running out of words.
The film, which premiered in Victoria Falls on Friday, has been lauded for its powerful message of hope, resilience, and the pursuit of dreams. Tichaona Kurewa, ZBC News, Victoria Falls.
Catch them young, they say. And now in this week's Radio Zimbabwe chart show, Simon Mutambi's song Chembere Yako claimed the top spot after dethroning Sungura King Alec Macheso.
Chembere Yako, a song by Simon Mutambi, shook the airwaves this week to take first place. Sungura is still rocking the show, with Alec Macheso dropping to second spot with the song Vinoda Hama, while Mark Ngwazi's Zimwe Wondo was on third. Killer T claimed Chabaiwa maintained sixth place from last week. ZBC News. Harare.
Sports news coming up after this break.
Applications are invited from suitably qualified and experienced candidates to fill in the vacant positions that have arisen in the Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation. The following vacancies are currently available: Manager, Power FM, Monitoring and Evaluation Manager, Marketing Executive, Graphic Artist, Finance Officer, Outside Broadcast Technician, Sub-Editor, Picture Editor, Animator, Traffic Officer. Applicants are invited to visit the corporation's website www.zbc.co.zw under vacancies, or to scan the QR code to make their applications. ZBC is an equal opportunities employer committed to diversity and inclusion. All vacancies closing on Monday, the 18th of November 2024.
It's all about drama and wars in sports news. Northern Region Division 1 side Karoi United have appealed to ZIFA after they were found guilty of causing the abandonment of their league match against a Scotland Football Club. Now the appeal puts on ice Scotland's title celebrations.
As Scotland was celebrating being crowned Northern Region Soccer League champions at Rufaro Stadium this Friday, a drama ensued on social media as Moose FC appeared to be considering themselves as the legitimate champions, leaving the public in confusion. In the build-up to the confusion, Karoi United allegedly withdrew an appeal against the awarding of 3 points to eventual champions Scotland, a move they swiftly turned back on using social media minutes before the final whistle at either venues. With drama evidently reaching its climax in the Division 1 League, this news crew spoke with Northern Region Soccer League Chairman Martin Kweza to clear the air on the promotion race.
Friday afternoon, just before lunch, we received another letter from Karoi. This time it was stamped by ZIFA, where Karoi had said they had withdrawn their appeal, and it was signed by their Secretary General, and to us that was an official withdrawal of an appeal. And then at the end of the game, after Scotland won 3-1 and Moors won 1-0, it means in the absence of an appeal, Scotland are the champions.
Meanwhile, Karoi United this Saturday formalized their appeal again, with the case set to be settled on the 14th of November.
As we speak, the issue of the Northern Region champion is going to be determined in the boardroom by the appeals committee of ZIFA.
While the drama and debates continue on social media, Scotland were crowned the champions but will sleep with one eye open after Karoi United relaunched their appeal, giving Moors faint hope that they may still clinch promotion to the Premier Soccer League next season. Reynold Ngwarati, ZBC News.
FC Platinum have spoiled a Simba Bora's coronation party after beating the 2024 Premier Soccer League champions by 2-0 at Wadzanai Stadium today.
Simba Bora failed to maintain their unbeaten home streak this Saturday after they were thumped by second-placed FC Platinum in their homecoming match. The newly crowned champions trailed as early as the 3rd minute after Panashim Timbanyoka strike thrust the Platinum Miners ahead, and he sealed the maximum points in the 83rd minute. The victory for the Platinum Miners is the first by any side on Simba's home ground this season. In other matches, Bikita Minerals were left for dead in their fight for survival after Chicken Inn wielded the sword to slay them 3-0 and turn their hopes of survival at Luveve Stadium. Wongezi Platinum were ruthless against the Rentals, thumping them by a whooping 4-0. Action continues this Sunday with Wanke renewing their fight for survival when they host Thailanders at the Colliery. Chegutu Pirates will play host to a do-or-die match against Cape United at Baobab Stadium. Till1 will host already relegated Arena Movers at Ascot Stadium. Dynamos host Manica Diamonds at Rufaro Stadium, while Yada fight for safety when they face Greenfield at the Yard Stadium. Bulawayo Chiefs round up the action with a clash against ZBC Kariba at Luveve Stadium. Reynaud Ngwarati, ZBC News.
The senior netball team, the Gems, suffered their first defeat at the ongoing Celtic Cup after going down 45-55 to host Scotland at the Emirates Arena in Glasgow this Friday.
Zimbabwe could not maintain their winning touch in the Celtic Cup as they suffered a narrow 10-point loss against the host Scotland. After making a winning start with a convincing 54-46 victory against Northern Ireland on Thursday night, the challenge against Scotland proved tougher for the Gems, who could not mastermind a comeback into the encounter. The Gems put in a brave fight against the home team, which is ranked number 10 in the world, but could not get the desired result in the battle. Scotland showed their intention from the first quarter, in which they set the foundation of their victory, going to the break holding a 17-8 lead to take charge of the match. In the next quarter, the hosts maintained their 9-goal lead, winning the second quarter 31-22 before adding a score to the gap in the penultimate quarter, making it 43-32. Zimbabwe tried all in their book of tricks to turn the tide in the final quarter, but Scotland were just too strong, shedding just a single score on their lead to win 45-55. Zimbabwe, who are the least ranked team in the tournament, are using the Celtic Cup to gain ranking points so as to be able to qualify automatically for the 2027 Netball World Cup. Zimbabwe are currently ranked 13th, making them the 4th best team in Africa after South Africa, Uganda and Malawi. Reynaud Ngwarati, ZBC News.
The Sables are continuing to build a formidable force with the tour of Dubai. Now we link up with Jeffrey Murambechi, who is with the Sables in Dubai.
Beyond preparing for a test match against South Korea, within South Korea, Zimbabwe's national rugby team, the Sables, have made a cordial relationship with the South Korean Rugby Union, having a cordial relationship that allows them to be a part of one of their developmental programs. And I will talk about something that did happen today. Initially, Zimbabwe was scheduled to play against South Korea in a match at the Jincheon National Training Center. However, this match was converted into a training session in which Zimbabwe was roped into a special program. The Sables continued their unbeaten run under the guideship of Peter Bernard as the head coach, and had a fantastic weekend in which Korea Rugby and a joint venture had a training session that is dubbed the 2024 Dream Together training program, which saw Zimbabwe's national team or national team select playing against the Korean 15 select in what was a practice match that had no result, but had both teams having some rugby action for 20 minutes aside, having to test out new combinations and to test out their final preparations. But the final match will be played next week, Saturday, within Korea, and that is a test match that will cap off Zimbabwe's Sables' final year as the road to 2027 Rugby World Cup continues. But for Zimbabwe Rugby and for ZBC News, my name is Jeffrey Murimbechi.
Many thanks, Jeffrey. They're putting a cap in sports news. The way of the weather up next.
Hello, welcome, and let's take a look at the weather.
Presence of moisture over the country resulted in isolated showers over Matabeleland provinces, although the amounts were less than 10 millimeters. And today it started off mostly clear and mild, and it turned into a hot afternoon with some convective clouds developing in all Matabeleland provinces, and we might have some isolated showers here and there in those provinces. Meanwhile, more moisture is infiltrating from the west into the country, and we're expecting a rainy week ahead starting from Tuesday onwards, and we're seeing moisture drifting in from the west and rainfall activity from Tuesday into Wednesday over the central parts of the country, stretching into the northern parts of Zimbabwe. Now for our lows tonight, we're expecting mild conditions throughout the night. Under cloudy conditions, we might have some showers here and there across Zimbabwe. And as for tomorrow, we should have generally hot conditions across Zimbabwe, particularly over the extreme southern parts of the country, which includes Chireze and Beitbridge, as well as the northwestern parts of Zimbabwe, including Kariba, which should record 40 degrees Celsius. As for Masvingo, it should be mostly sun with overnight cloud conditions. A chance of rain is expected from Wednesday onwards. Gwanda should be windy from Thursday onwards, with a chance of isolated thunder showers here and there. Matopo is generally hot, with temperatures dropping from Wednesday onwards, with a chance of rain here and there. Bulawayo, mostly sun, overnight cloud conditions. A chance of isolated thunderstorms is expected. Gweru, the Midlands, rain is expected from Wednesday onwards. Marontera, generally mild in the morning with hot afternoons, temperatures dropping from Wednesday onwards. Harare, mostly sunny with wind conditions as we get into Monday, and a chance of rain is expected at the middle of the week. Kwekwe, generally mostly sunny over the weekend. Kadoma, a chance of isolated showers is expected during the week. Chinoy should be generally hot with temperatures dropping from Wednesday onwards. Lupane, mostly sunny with overnight cloud conditions. A chance of showers is expected during the week. Victoria Falls, mostly sunny with overnight cloud conditions. As for Kariba, should be hot with temperatures slightly dropping during the week. As for Bindura, mostly sunny over the weekend. Chance of rain is expected. Nyanga, the Manicaland, rainy during the week. That's all on weather news today. Thank you for tuning in. Christine Sander signing out.
Well, that's a wrap on the news at 8. From myself, Liam Bernard, Marilyn Gwenya from our Montrose studios, as well as Susan. Good night. Nice.